places where the map ends and the unknown begins, where shadows whisper and the truth hides in plain sight. Welcome to Agents of the Unexplained, the broadcast for those who seek what others fear to find. Here is your host, Bill Rigby.
Bill Rigby leads the way into the strange. Whispers in the static, truth inside.
Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? I was out in the sun a little bit today and that felt great. You know, nice weather. Oh, I loved it. I did an impromptu setup down at the Full Circle Melted Magic outside their store to set up. I got to meet some people, talk about Bigfoot. Hey, there she is. The one and only. How you doing? But yeah, and it was great. I got to talk to some people about Bigfoot, about the paranormal. Sold a couple items. I just brought some of the stuff. Had people blowing the horn at us. We had Bigfoot stop by. But anyhow, I'm getting a little off track here. I got a good friend here that's here tonight, Steve Schneider. He is an author, a woodsman, and just an all-around great guy. And I tell you what I like about what he does is he's getting the younger generation, trying to get them involved in the research. And he's doing it a smart way, and I really like it. Let me bring him on. Hey buddy.
Hey, Bill, how's it going?
And like I said, you know, it's great that what you're doing, getting the younger ones involved or trying to. And
yes, and I appreciate you saying that. And we talked about this. You know, we're not getting any younger. If anybody noticed, we're not.
I'm trying, but it don't work. I haven't found the youth.
Right. And, you know, I've said, you know, I go to all these shows and for every 10, 20 adults, I might see one kid. And, and we don't have the parents bringing them to these type of events, all the different shows. You know, we were at the camping adventure, Eric Altman's camping adventure, and there weren't that many kids. There were a couple. But then, you know, like Kecksburg, that's the one where I see lots of kids, but they're not there for the paranormal stuff. They're there because it's a street fair where they live, you know. So we get interested. My son got interested when he was young and loved it because I did, and we met Stan Gordon when my son was young. Right. So that's got him extremely interested. You know, he's that type of kid. But you know, if we want people to keep doing this, the research and investigating and looking, in 20 years, we need those kids that are 10 because they'll be moving up, you know, to do that. And, you know, we want them interested to pass it on. And,
that's right.
You know, a lot of this has been passed down. You know, it's like not ancient, but the Indian, when they would tell their stories, then pass along the information. There's a lot of that now, but we've got the internet. We've got so many things to keep track of that information. You know, right. I tease Stan about being, you know, everything's on paper. We'll talk about my book because Stan's in my book, and I tease him in the book about that, about not digitizing everything. So
he's not. Computer literate, might say.
And Colin even said, Stan, how about if I come stay with you for a week and I'll digitize everything for you? You know?
Yes.
Because we don't want to lose all that. And that's the research that people will need. If we start losing all these people who have been into it for the last 30, 40 years, and their research just goes away, you know, it's going to set everything back.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, this weekend, I'm going to be in Girard, Ohio at the Metroplex at the Psychic Fair. I'm going to be talking about Bigfoot. but I'm going to be talking about the paranormal Bigfoot. And one of my mentors out there who passed away December 3rd, Fred Saluga, he's all about the paranormal Bigfoot. And in his memory, that's the presentation I'm going to do. And, and that's a little bit out of my realm.
That's funny for a paranormal. It's out of your realm.
Yeah.
So for my benefit, define what you mean when you say paranormal Bigfoot. I think but I want to know for sure.
Interdimensional. They could be alien. There's 3 different categories: flesh and blood, interdimensional, and alien. And you got 3 different groups of Bigfoot researchers out there, and you can't mix them. they get in arguments, and that's what I hate that.
I hate that too. It's because not a one of them can prove one way or the other.
That's right.
I understand when people say, well, it's on you to prove Bigfoot exists. It's not on me to prove he doesn't exist. I get that. But the any of the parties we have can't prove he does exist. So why, rip people apart and say, well, my PlayStation's better than your Xbox? It doesn't matter. That's another argument.
That might be true, because I had an Xbox original.
Or the Stones are better than the Beatles, or Billy Joel is better than Elton John. I mean, it's the same arguments. That's my point. It's funny you say that, because the interdimensional Bigfoot is in my book. That's the Bigfoot I wrote in my book.
Yeah, and I'm not going to argue the fact that they can be. Okay, I won't argue that they can be, because I don't know. I'm not going to argue they're just flesh and blood or alien, because I don't know. What I saw at 15 feet away from me looked like flesh and blood.
But interdimensional doesn't mean it's not flesh and blood. It just means it's from somewhere else. And alien doesn't mean it's not flesh and blood, just means it traveled from another planet. Now, and interdimensional could also be alien. It could be both from that, because we're not saying the wormhole is necessarily going to another dimension. Could be going to Alpha Centauri. We don't have the science supports all of those things to a degree, so that we're still missing something.
We are. And my sister from another mother, Gwen Purcell, goes, exactly. You're right. That is exactly right. Because none of us can prove exactly what the hell it is. And I'll be damned if someone's going to tell me this is it. Now you got to give me proof.
And
give me your theories. I'll accept that. But you're telling me it is? Give me your proof.
And I've got a friend that we talk about this, and he just totally doesn't believe any of it. He doesn't believe Bigfoot. He doesn't believe ghosts. But the weird thing is, he doesn't believe aliens either. And he's a sci-fi guy. And I'm like, dude, I don't understand how you can't say, okay, let's back up on that one there. So aliens, people also don't realize that, history of the universe is this big, and we've only been on Earth for this little bit of it. So there's whole sections here that there could be life on other planets that evolved, developed, and died out already, that are gone, and I'm not saying that life on other planets is humanoid looking. It could just be bacteria. It could be amoebas. It could be fungus. That's still life. Okay. So that being said, I believe there's got to be life elsewhere. I can't believe that it just struck here, whether you believe in God or it was scientifically whatever. But I am not saying that I believe there's multitude other planets with humanoids that are more advanced than us sending spaceships. That is the part I'm like, I don't know if that would necessarily be true at this point. So that all said, with Bigfoot, if it is the science supports it, though. The science supports that there's aliens on other planets. Science supports Bigfoot traveling through a wormhole, because We've proven wormholes exist. We've proven there are other dimensions. The scientists have proven that exists. We also know that there are animals out there on our planet, from our planet, that we have existed for a long time that we're just now finding. And I know it's one thing to say a coelacanth is not the same as a Bigfoot. I get that. But the point is, it happened.
So here's the thing, too. A good friend of mine, researcher, who was living in Eastern PA, he moved to Florida since. But
well, there's a lot of weirdness going on in Florida. You got a lot to research.
Yeah, you got, and some of it's just drug related, but that's beside the point.
Exactly.
But in Eastern PA, he's out researching, and he's going down the highway headed home. He see a Bigfoot crossing the road. And then it cloaked as he was getting across the road.
Like Predator.
Yeah, like Predator. And I'm not going to argue with him because, you know, he's a firm believer that Bigfoot's out there, number one. But this totally blew his mind. He called me right away, and he's all shook up and the whole 9 yards. And I said, I believe you, man. I really do. You know, but I'm trying to wrap my head around what you saw and what you're explaining. And he said, let me explain it again. And I said, no, I already know what you explained. I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. This is craziness to me. But I'm not saying it didn't happen.
Right. And you know, the statistics show, though, that 80-85% of any of these are some misidentification or some, you know, something that people see wrong. And that's what we fight against when we're trying to do this. But there's always that 5% that you go, there you go. Exactly. Swamp gas, right? It was swamp gas. But there's always that 5% that you're like, yeah, this one is striking me as a little different. If somebody said, oh my gosh, I saw movement up in the woods, it must be a Bigfoot. And then they go tell everybody, I saw a Bigfoot. You probably saw the leaves blowing. That's the problem. You get people that report they saw something, and that lends everybody, you know, it brings everybody down. But there's, no matter what, you talk to some of these people, you're like, that's a little odd. And, you know, it's verifiable. Does it prove it's a Bigfoot? No. But, you know, were your dogs cowering? Did you hear this weird noise that doesn't sound like a fox or a cougar or, you know, all the other animals that make odd noises? You know, so there's enough of them out there that keeps that belief and hope alive. Yeah.
All right. Gwen just asked, have you seen American Sasquatch from Dave Palisade? I didn't yet. I've been going to, but with everything, I've just been trying to do things and not getting nothing done right. But have you seen that one yet?
No, I have not. No.
I got to. When? Go to your YouTube so I can put your questions up on the screen. My brother, William Nighthawk. Remember, Bill, the legends of the shape-shifting trickster spirits that are completely different than Bigfoot or Dogman.
If you ask me, look at the Native American lore. Some of the stuff they wrote about is, to me, some of the most important proof that we have, that they had no reason to be writing this the way they did. And it to me, it just seems like, I can't imagine every Native American tribe got together and said, hey, we may be warriors against each other, but let's write all these things about Bigfoot so future people get confused. Ha, ha, ha. No, I can't believe that that's what they did. So to me, that's some of the best proof to look at.
Lou goes, seeing it from 8 inches away, you're definitely positive it was a Bigfoot. When it breathes stains across your body, you're positive it's a living animal, or I should say human animal. That's a possibility.
And there's so many things with science that we're still learning and finding about, especially with the quantum realm. I argue with my son about this all the time. I'm like, I can't prove a thing, but there's so many things we keep learning. What do we know now that we didn't know 100 years ago? What will we know 100 years from now? Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't even know what we'll know then. So it's still a possibility.
It's a big possibility. And, you and me touch base on the flap of Ohio,
Yeah.
but we'll get to that too, because
Yeah.
you're in the thick of it in that area.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
But-
I live like right close to all those areas.
Yes. And so, but the thing is, what I saw, I truly believe it was flesh and blood. Like Luke's saying, breathing and breathes, the breath left stains on his body. You know, that tells me they're flesh and blood, but can they be interdimensional? William Nighthawk says they can be. Fred Saluga said they can be. I believe they can be, but I don't think every one of them are.
You're right. There could be multiple different one. Maybe some of them came here 50 years ago and stayed.
Yes.
Maybe it wasn't a full population, but maybe it was a family. Maybe they were escaping tyranny at their home realm or whatever. I mean,
Good possibility.
which all would lead to some really good books, I must say.
You would think of that one.
Absolutely.
I love it. But, with all honesty, you're right. It would lead to some good books, some great stories.
Yeah.
First encounter stories. It's just crazy. And I mean, crazy how we all start closing our minds off to what they can and are. And, and I preach, keep your mind open all the time.
And we can do that, but I've seen some studies that show our brain physically changes when we start hitting about 5 or 6. And so there's some theories out there that when you're younger and your brain is wired differently, you see things differently in the world, that there's not the filters that we get as we grow older. So go watch some of those YouTube videos when you have a little kid, not just acting, but like talking to somebody, and then you see them like fighting, like
Right.
someone's trying to take something out of their hand. That's not a 3-year-old faking that and acting. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
It's just
No,
not.
it's not.
And that may not be Bigfoot, but if there could be, and oh man, going off on spirits and realms and ghosts and energy, that could be a whole discussion there too. But if that could be a possibility and it fits with science, then why can't there be Bigfoot? Why can't there be interdimensional? Why can't there be this quantum? I had a lady come up to my table. I was at a show with my books, and she said, "Oh, I've been wanting to ask somebody," and she had pictures in her backyard that were 4.5 feet apart, and they were 13 inches. And I said, "Well, that's in snow. So, after a day or two, it starts to melt, it gets bigger." And she goes, No. This wasn't here 2 hours before I took the picture. I was home and I was in the backyard. And then 2 hours later, we had gone out and came back, and they were in the yard in 2 hours. So,
Well, okay, let me go on that one. Not only me, but this happened up toward Mercer, and someone else did a research at another one up that way of a footprint going through the backyard.
mhm.
The house is 50 yards away from it to the right. To the left, 75 yards away is the tree line. These prints are going, all of a sudden they stopped.
Right.
There's no trees in front or outbuildings in front of them. And you can tell they didn't backtrack. Where in the hell did they go?
And see, this is where the whole science comes into it, because quantum physics with just go watch Timeline by Michael Crichton, or read the book actually. But the whole quantum physics thing with wormholes and dimensions would explain that they entered a portal, entered another dimension, and they went elsewhere. So they wouldn't leave tracks. They were flesh and blood when they were here. They traveled elsewhere. So it's all three of those. It's not just an interdimensional.
And that's why I say keep an open mind. All right, I got to scroll back on the Facebook side here.
Oh yeah, we're just yakking away. But
Gwendolyn said she watched it on the cruise that Palisades 411. He claims that I got to put my glasses on. I hate being half blind. No, it wasn't. And claims that more and more researchers are coming to the unexplainable side, and they are.
Because things keep showing up that say, hey, here's a Bigfoot, but we can't explain it with saying there's a family living in Salt Fork. You know?
I'm not going to argue that one because that's where my sighting was at 15 feet away.
But just because you saw one doesn't mean, I'm just positing, doesn't mean they're living there. Maybe that's what you might call a thin spot. Maybe that's where two dimensions are closer together. We don't know. We'd have to get equipment down there to detect other dimensions, which does exist. But you know, that maybe that's why there's so many Bigfoot sightings there, because they know to travel.
Me and Gwen's been over there several times. We camped out there and researched there, and like she says, there's been too many things that
agreed
we can't explain. That's both of us, you know. Me and Gwen done a lot of researching together, and it's weird because there is so much out there that we can't explain.
Right.
And people are just so closed-minded, and that's why the kids.
Yes,
I'm going back to the kids. I'm going back to the kids because what you're doing there. Yes, William, we're talking quantum entanglement. Very much so.
Partly. Quantum entanglement's a little bit different, but yes, it's involved.
But when I met you, it was in Butler at the Butler Paranormal Show. And I'm like, who is this goofy bastard?
You know what? I've had lots of people use that descriptor. So
but then you and me talked, and what you were doing, what you got my friend Nicole's daughter.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
You came up with that kit, which I used to have a kit for Bigfoot researching for kids.
Right.
And man, they were so quick, and it was hard to get the stuff I needed to make the kit again with the backpacks. And I says, Steve, you're on the right track. And I did tell you that.
Yeah, we talked. And that's the whole idea. So for a little background for anyone, I'm a kids author, a middle school grade author. I write books, Goosebumps book type books or Harry Potter type books, that realm of, type of style. And they're all fiction. And my whole goal when I started was to get kids reading, give them a book that they want to read. This isn't a reading podcast. I've got a whole rant I could go off about that. If you want kids to read, give them stuff they want to read, not crap that they don't like. Enough said on that. So that was my goal, was to write books that kids want to read, because I have a friend, Jeff Strand, who writes great horror fiction. I always tell, it's like Goosebumps for adults, but he writes some kids books also. And he's had multiple teachers say, thank you for your books. I gave them to some boys who don't like to read, and they wanted more. They asked for another one. They wanted to read. That's what you got to do. So I always have been working with kids. I've been a soccer coach, a baseball, a softball, a Girl Scout leader, a Boy Scout leader, a martial arts instructor. I've been with kids, most of my adult life. So when I started writing books for kids, it made sense to branch off into other areas that were associated. And where it led me was back to Bigfoot, because I was into that stuff. My son was into that stuff. He did some talks at various things. He talked at Mothman one year. He wrote his own book. So we were doing a lot. He was into it. He actually in 2018 went up to the International Cryptozoology Museum in Maine, and Lauren presented him with Young Cryptozoologist of the Year for 2018.
Oh,
so
wow. That's awesome.
Really, really into it. But there was some bad eggs in the field and the toxicity, and it drove him away. And I missed that. And I felt bad because everybody's like, Colin, you're 2018, you're the Young Cryptozoologist Researcher of the Year. You're the one that all the kids look up to and all this. And then he got driven out of the field. And I felt bad about that, because if we keep driving all the kids away, what are we going to have? When the people that are causing the toxicity die, what do we have left? We don't have the kids because they were driven away. So
a lot of the good adults are getting driven away with this toxicity.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a shame.
Yeah.
You know what, Bill, we could totally disagree. You could have different thoughts than I, but we can still have a discussion about it, and we could listen to each other's thoughts. And again, because neither one of us can actually prove it with fact and actual proof at this moment, means we could both be right still, So
exactly.
That's what people
and I do say that. I said we can both be right or we can both be wrong. We don't know.
We can't prove it either way right now.
No. And in that toxicity was, I stepped away from research and the podcast and everything last year for my health, my wife's health, and hers was getting better and then went to shit. So I had to step away and focus on what's needs focused on at that moment.
Right.
But I kept looking at on Facebook and other social media stuff and the toxicity out there. I was like, I told Beth, I said, I don't think I want to go back into this.
That's what my son said.
She goes, do it for you, not them. This is what you love. Do it. And she was the backbone of this, of me coming back on. And I just started getting back on. And then she passed away. And that just threw me in another turmoil.
That's right. Yeah.
And so, but I'm getting back into it. And I don't usually get a tarot card reading. But a good friend of mine, Christina Bloom, is in from Wisconsin. And she says, pick a card, any card, Bill. Oh, here we go. It's her. I'm going to do it. She's a great friend. I did. And the card made a lot of sense. Tell me, just let things flow. Just let it go. And
that's probably good advice for
the most part. And then for what I needed, it really was, because I was trying to control the narrative of my destiny. And I can't do that. Not with everything else that's going on.
Right.
So that was great. Now, with that being said, that's what a lot of us got to do, is go with the flow and just let it flow.
Yeah.
And see what we can learn. And my friend, Mrs. Spencer, wants to know the name of your books.
Okay. That's an awesome question. I'm glad somebody asked.
Yes, it is.
So let me give a little back history of the book. Since we were into Bigfoot and all of that, I got married and they were all into Bigfoot and cryptids and stuff. Not quite as much. They enjoyed it, but we were all the same nerdy type of things we liked. So we all started going to these different events and stuff. So for Christmas, I wrote some short stories, and I took my kids and stepkids and I made them an investigative group and put them in these stories just for fun for the kids and gave it to them. Well, then, now that everybody's gone, I wanted to get back into it, and it just struck me one day. I'm like, you know what? Those short stories were way fun, and I could probably turn those into full books. And that's where we're at. So I've got
Yeah.
the Oddish Questers. It's a sibling investigative team that searches for things like the first book is Bigfoot. And I've got some other books on the way. So here I'll show you for all those looking. This is it, the Bigfoot case, the Oddish Questers. I've got shirts, say Oddish Questers on them. I've got hats, and I've got those kits. The whole goal is to get kids interested in cryptozoology, not necessarily Bigfoot. It could be anything in the cryptozoology field. To get them, I do things like you saw, the ID kits. You have to go ask questions of the speakers and answer these questions, and you get a cryptozoology ID card, just like the old Justice League ID cards from the 70s. You know, that's what it was based on. And then they're part of the team. I have stickers at my table. Kids can color the logo, and I tell them put it on their shirt, and they can be part of the team and investigate Bigfoot. And then for the ones that are really into it, I've got the kits, and I've got some other books coming. So once I got multiple books, I've got different age ranges for younger kids, bigger. I've also got a book, a picture book that's for the younger crowd.
I need to say something real quick.
Oh yeah.
We're having a bad storm right now. So
we got
if I get booted out, that's why. Yeah, just so you all know.
There you go.
It's hitting pretty hard out there. But
yeah, we've got it coming, I hear.
Yeah. But something that he did, and it really got Nicole's daughter going with this. She wants to be researching the cryptozoology, paranormal, and this young girl is really into it now, thanks to Steve. I'm being dead serious. Thanks to him, because he inspired her.
That's what I want. That's it exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You inspired her, and it was awesome to see the transformation there in Butler of her. Oh yeah, I got to do this.
And she keeps coming back every time she's at an event that I'm at. She comes up to see me.
Yes, yeah, and it's just, I can say firsthand that I saw the reaction and how it took with her.
Yeah, and
that's why I say I got nothing but 100% faith in what you're doing.
And that's awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I want to hear. I want more kids to be like that. There are a lot of researchers out there, and there's a lot of people that are hunting in the field. There's a lot of people like Stan gathering all the evidence and keeping the records. There's people that get on the shows, Ken Gerhard and that write the books, that get on the shows, that get to do things that are bigger than just visiting local stuff. That's all covered. But what I didn't see was the people that were working to inspire the kids. Brian Parsons wrote a book, but his is more of a handbook. It's an actual cryptozoologist handbook, but it's a good one to get. But I went a different angle. I wanted to get kids interested because they read these books like, oh, I wonder if Bigfoot could really exist. I want my characters to feel alive to them, so they feel close to them, and they want to do that. And the characters in the book, I just had somebody read it and send me oh my God, I finally got to finish it. I've been trying for 3 nights to finish it because I've been so interrupted, and it was so much fun. I loved it. And, and I didn't ask for them to tell me that. And so I know it's a book that could do that and inspire people. And I tried to make each of the kids in there have a different ability and be a different personality that somebody could identify with. For example, we got Connor, who may or may not be based on my son as a kid researcher, very intense about it. But then we've got Sierra, who is a young girl. She's a little older than Connor, but she's a tech wizard. She builds gear. The inspiration for her might be a little bit more of Langley from the X-Files. Which Dean Haglin, I have a story about I could tell some other time. But he's going to be in a future story. And then we've got Andy, who's based on my one stepson. He has autism. He's on the spectrum, but he's very strong. So his ability is adding that strength and that quietness to it. And that was a difficult thing for me because I know in our toxic world that you write somebody that may be on the spectrum, you'll get somebody upset and they'll want to attack you and destroy your whole life.
Yeah.
But because I actually have lived with a couple people that were on the spectrum, I drew from that experience and tried to put that in the book. So I didn't, dance around the issue, but I don't hit it over the head with a hammer either. We know that in the book, Andy is on the spectrum, and we all know that, but the kids treat him like they treat any brother. Like I saw the real kids treating their real brother. Yes, we know he has.
I got that right here. I got that right here.
Yeah. So
Hunter's
I
on
wanted
the
to build that in.
spectrum, but he's strong, smart,
Yeah.
and artistic. And I live with this. I have another grandson that's nonverbal autistic, but very smart. He's very intelligent, but he's just nonverbal.
But you treat them like a normal person, and they're part of your family. And that comes across to some people as you're being mean to them. They think you need to tiptoe around them and treat them special. And that makes them feel worse. It makes them feel excluded even more. When Adam was here, we would pick on him and tease him just like we did everybody else. And he actually loved it. I do, Hunter.
And there's times he gets mad, of course.
Yeah.
You
but
can
of course, be mean about it, but you don't have to.
I tell him, well, I'm going out Bigfoot, and you want to go? No, but find me a Bigfoot. And that's the thing. And my middle grandson, Owen, he gets so mad at some of these kids at school because they're city kids that don't believe in Bigfoot. And they think he's a liar that his grandfather saw one. And he gets upset. I said, don't get upset. I said, I don't get upset when people don't believe me. I says, you can't convince everybody, and I'm not out to convince them. And my buddy Tater's there. He goes, if we inspire children to go looking in the woods for Bigfoot with their parents, we win. If a children picks up a book about Bigfoot, we win. Researchers who give back more than they take. He wrote a story here.
I like stories.
Yeah, you do. Researchers who give back more than they take, we win. And that's 110% true. Thank you, Tater.
Yeah, absolutely. And as the writer storyteller, it took me a while to really get this book done and get it right, because I wanted to hit all of that. I wanted kids to read it and have fun and get inspired, not because I was giving them these real life accounts that really happened, but because it is based on some real life accounts.
Yes.
But put them in a fictional way. In fact, let me just say, Stan Gordon is in my book. He allowed me to fictionalize him. And I wanted to do that because he was so good helping my son when we were younger. But he said, you have to make sure you put a notice that this is a fiction book, that these aren't real accounts. And I'm like,
that's Stan. That's Stan.
Yeah. But that's exactly it. If I can get kids reading, we might take some kids to some of these shows. There might be some kids that are interested in the talks, but that's going to be a tough sell to get kids sitting through an hour-long talk, especially with some of these speakers who are very dry. But if I could get kids, if I can get kids to read a book and then get sparked and interested, then we've got them another way, and it gives them something in their life that's hopeful and something they can enjoy, rather than sitting and staring at a TV, whether they're watching America's Got Talent, or they're watching football all day, or just sitting on their tablet scrolling through YouTube videos. It gets them, like Tater said, out in the woods, gets them, with parents. I have a booklet with my kit that talks about going out to explore in the woods and learn what the woods are like. You can't say there's a noise that must be Bigfoot if it's your first time in the woods. You have no idea what woods normally sound like. You don't know what they sound like in the middle of summer. You don't know what they sound like in winter. You don't know what they sound like when there are deer running through it. You don't know what squirrels sound like running through the woods. You got to go out in the woods a lot to learn those things. And then you know what's Bigfoot or not, or what you think may be Bigfoot.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, when you said summer sounds and winter sounds, hell, I heard some of the loudest cracks, like wood hitting a tree. And that wasn't it. It was the sap freezing and snapping.
Yeah.
You know, and it's spring, summer, fall, and winter. The sounds are different.
Yep. The wind going through
Yeah.
trees with leaves and
Yeah.
trees without leaves sounds different. And foxes really do make some freaky noises.
Yes, they do.
So not everything is Bigfoot howling. There's a lot of foxes out there fooling a lot of people.
Yeah. My friend Lou says if you inspire young people to hunt, fish, and trap, they'll come across the Bigfoot, probably on their own, especially trapping. Could be right. That's a good possibility, because I know for a fact I was at Corky's research. There was a group of us researchers all got together, have a cookout, BS, have a good time. It was on Memorial Weekend. 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And Corky took these small metal buckets that had peanuts in them, unshelled peanuts. And he stuck 2 glow sticks on each side of the outside of the buckets, and took those 5 buckets up on the hillside and hang them off of branches to see, because we're going to be there late, and several of us are going to be camping out in his research area. Well, we're sitting around BS and all that. Corky even did a podcast from it, and then we're all sitting there BS, and I look up on the hill up toward the top one. I see the bucket go like this. I went, that thing just moved? Nah, I'm seeing things. I'm tired. It's 1 a.m. That did move. No, yeah, it moved. And again, hey guys, the bucket on top's moving. Everybody jumped up. My friend Jay Fouch jumps up. He had a thermal. He's shining it up there, and he had it on white hot. We actually saw 2 of them sitting there, reaching into that bucket, grabbing peanuts, watching us. I go to take a picture of the image on his screen of the thermal, but it was white hot. All I got was a white blood.
Oh, yeah.
But I went, oh, but yeah.
So, okay. So you talked about the thermal. Let me ask you a question. This is slightly off topic. You've probably watched some of the ghost hunter type shows. There's been a million of them over the last 20 years. You know, I'm not a ghost hunter researcher. You know, I think it's kind of cool. But here's what I don't understand, Bill, with that. And this applies to some of the Bigfoot research stuff too. I can go to the Amazon. I can get on a GoPro, a little GoPro for $60. That's not that expensive. Yeah, I know it can be a little much but over a couple months, I could probably buy 3 or 4 of those little GoPros.
Right.
So why the hell does every ghost show set up one camera and leave one camera and then say, oh, we proved something? No, you have one camera that it could be an anomaly. Set up 2 or 3 cameras with different angles, and then you get the same thing on 3 cameras and you got more proof. The same with Bigfoot. People set up one trail cam and then it's like, well, see this just indistinct blur? I think that's it. Get a couple more cameras and set up 3 or 4 of these things and you might get some proof. The same with if you're with a group. If everybody had a GoPro strapped to their chest along with their phones and any other cameras, you're likely to get multiple angles. And then you can't get people going, oh, well, that's fake. Well, no, we've got it from 5 different angles. That is way harder to fake.
We were
why don't people do that? That's my question. Why don't people do that?
Up Mark Twain house, we kind of set up a camera in 2 different angles. And the Mark Twain house is up in Jamestown, PA. There's a doctor friend of Mark Twain and his wife, and the doctor and his wife were on a cruise together. They met and became friends. So we did have a little bit of activity off those cameras. To me, that was still an anomaly because it couldn't really make it out.
Right.
And I got to say one thing. Grip, I'm glad you made it, brother. And same with Gary and Bobby Nacho.
Oh, so that means we can't talk about him anymore. We got
No,
stop.
we can't.
Okay,
No.
got it.
Bobby Nacho, we can.
Okay.
But not Gary Overfield. He needs hot dogs. But yeah, so, it's like the Bigfoot shows. Okay. You're going about the paranormal show and the cameras. It's like the Bigfoot shows. What evidence have they really shown? They're not going to, because it's all about the money for the producers.
Yeah, and that's the sad thing people got to realize. And I know you've talked to some of those guys like I have. I think Eric had the Mountain Monster guys there one year, and I know I've talked to Ken Gearhart and Lyle and multiple other people. And it's always like, yeah, that really did happen, but they altered it and edited it to make it look different when it went to TV. He's like, the thing that happened in a 3-minute time span, they stretched it out to make it look like it was happening over weeks of time, and that it happened in multiple places. It's a con job. Hey, look at my right hand so you don't see what the left hand.
Okay, good friend of mine that passed away last year. We were talking about using primate pheromones, like do estrogen.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to set that up. I think that was it might have been a year before that we were talking about this. And I told Donnie, we got to get some. This should work, and especially in that one research area of yours. And Finding Bigfoot or Expedition Bigfoot, I can't remember which one, said they're going to do that primate pheromone. Shit, I'm watching this one, and they're getting everything all set up. They're in a couple 100 acres field set up on each side. They send a drone up. I'm like, why are they sending a drone up? They sprayed the whole damn field.
Wow.
Okay, you only got so many cameras, idiots. So you don't really want to catch anything. I shut it off.
Well, and here's the other thing. They do it just for the show. And you know as well as I do, you might go out to Salt Fork 10 times over the next couple months and see nothing.
Yeah,
but exactly. You go that 11th time and then you might see something. So doing it one time doesn't help prove very much of anything.
But spraying the whole damn field doesn't help either.
Yeah, that's not how you hunt deer. So why would you do it?
Yeah. Griff, I think Small Town Monster tried that too. But just like Steve said, just doing it the one time, even 2 times, you might not do nothing. You got to do it on a regular basis.
Yeah. And you mentioned Seth at Small Town. That's another one. He isn't a field researcher. He's not looking up the lore. He's not writing books. He's making movies, documentaries, trying to document these reports, trying to document the creatures, whatever. So again, I can see this being an inspirational thing for younger people, or not just even maybe kids, but maybe people in their 20s, these, city people that are like, do people really search for Bigfoot? Well, look at this documentary from Small Town Monsters. Yeah. It's like, well, I want to do that.
I got a lot of faith in what Seth is doing.
Yeah. We've been with, not involved, but I've known of Seth and talked to him and got all the movies, it was like the third one he did. We started with all that.
Yeah. And because granted, it's about making money too, but he's getting firsthand reports, experiences, and that's what we need.
So the money thing, and I know people are like, oh, well, Seth is just trying to make money. Well, aren't we all? I mean, stop a minute. Seth needs to make a living too, but if he wasn't making money doing this, he would stop doing it, and the research field would lose that bit of it. We would lose this modern storyteller, this modern filmmaker that's making. So yes, if giving Seth money to help pay for these and to help him family live so he can continue making these, hey, that sounds like a good deal. You know, he's not asking me for $5 million or anything. He's asking me for the price of a movie that I would like to watch anyway. It's the same with my book or any of the other people's books out there. You know, Ken, Lyle, Nick, some of these guys write they write, but some of these guys have like 30, 40 books out. You know, they make a living
the
on
thing
it.
too is what Seth is doing as a researcher. We listen to these reports that people are sharing their experience about, and we're picking different things up that might match or add to our research. And that's the biggest difference.
Right.
You know, and so let them make money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's helping us.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
I might sound like a favoritism there, but no.
Seth makes good movies. That's the thing. He's not trying to con people. He's not trying to fancify things. He doesn't, like, oh my gosh, we caught this on camera, and it's a fake something. He doesn't do that. He just, here's what I got. Here's the story I'm telling based on this. And I love that about him. And I love what he does because they've all been interesting. He keeps trying to get better. It's like all the reports Stan has, when you look at him over the 60 years he's done them, is when you start seeing, as he points out, some of these things that look, interesting, like the sightings of UFOs and then seeing sightings of Bigfoot within a couple days in the same area. Now, if that happened one time and there wasn't one person that kept track of it, we wouldn't know. But Stan can point to multiple times in different places at different times through the years that here's a UFO report, here's a Bigfoot report, here's 10 UFOs, here's 3 Bigfoot, all within days in the same area. So then you start to wonder.
My troll's back out here.
Hey, troll.
Ryan Tremblay. He's my troll.
Okay.
But he said 2 things. The first one was, ooh, digging those Star Wars blueprints in the back. That's why I was doing this.
Yeah.
Oh, like, shit, that's what it is.
I've got
and
a
the other
Falcon.
one, he says, I'm going to write my second book. It's a love story about his romance with Dr. Pepper. You better believe it.
but see, Bill, I could put that into I could put the cranky old investigator that drinks Dr. Pepper on all the investigations. I could throw that into a book if I find a good place for it.
Cranky.
Well, you got to be a cranky old man. Yeah. Remember, cranky. This is for kids.
Yeah, because just remember that the 2 movies, Grumpy Old Man and Grumpy Old Man 2, both of those guys died. They want to do a third. I'm trying out for the third.
Oh, you need to be the father, the one that was the oldest. I don't know if you ever watched the blooper reel at the end of those movies. That guy had a filthy mouth, and it was hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. And Ryan says, not just a troll, the best troll.
Okay, so in my book, the one character, Sierra, she's the tech genius. She does a lot of stuff in the book with technology and stuff. See, she would get on the computer and she would take care of your trolls. So.
Yep. Oh, look at this. Cranky, how dare you? I call him grumpy, snippety, cantankerous.
Grumpy, crotchety, crunchy. I like crunchy, actually. Crunchy's my favorite.
Yeah. We just had the heavy rain, Griff. But it's crunchy. Yep, that's the way my knees sound when I get out of bed in the morning. Actually, like Rice Krispies, snap, crackle, pop. But okay, I need to ask you this very personal question, Steve.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to embarrass you,
Oh,
but we need to know this. What events are you going to this year?
oh man, I've got a lot. I am trying to go to so many. I know the Frontier Village with the grist mill down by where Gretchen's Lock is. I think they're doing something again. They haven't done
Gretchen
that for a
Fest,
while.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sending that in. I'm going to Eric's Storm Trackers.
See, I'm booked for Middlefield, Ohio for that one. I'm speaking at Gretchen.
Oh, okay. So I should see you there.
Yes.
I've tried. It's hard because you don't want to miss out on certain things, so you sign up for them, but then something else comes a couple months later, and it's like,
and it's like Middlefield, Ohio. I did it last year. Now, Middlefield, Ohio is Amish country.
right.
And I'm like, UFO or a Bigfoot thing, Amish, we're not going to have many people. Over 1,000 people come through
Nice.
there.
Well,
I was
the
now, where
people
to
that are
speak-
outside in the woods more without watching TV are interested in Bigfoot speaking. What's that tell
and then
you?
Turn around, right? I spoke. Well, I shared the stage with Leona and Jim, and but and I spoke a little bit about my sighting and that. And what got me was standing room only in that building.
Nice. Good thing you put on deodorant that day, huh?
Yeah, because there was no air.
Oh,
But
it's like Kecksburg.
yeah, you know, I was so impressed, and I was asked to come back again this year, which I don't usually do 2 times in a row because
People
I
want
love
something
this one.
different.
This was coming up May 2nd. I love going to OBC, but come on, how many times do you want to listen to Cliff? Truthfully.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
you want different.
yeah.
I love Stan, but I always joke. It's like I've seen Stan's talk so many times. I could probably give his talk, because nothing
Yeah.
against Stan at all. And there's
No.
still people that go see it and love it. So
Yeah, because Stan is Stan. I can't say nothing else. He's been around forever. But come on, how often do I want to listen to Cliff? And I don't.
Cliff's a good guy, but yeah.
No, I got some. No.
Okay,
no.
well, we don't need to go.
No, I don't want to go in it right now. But no, I got no use for him.
Okay.
And some of the things he said, he's done in my book.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
And
So somebody asked, so if you want to go to my website and look up, I've got all the events I'm at. It's SA-Schneider, SCHNEIDER.com. It's the German spelling. I'm on Facebook. It's just SAS author. So you can find me on there and connect with me. I do a lot of things with reading, writing, teachers, but I'm trying to integrate the Bigfoot encrypted stuff into that. So if I'm talking to teachers about writing and stories, I'm doing it from a cryptid story or something like that. So I'm trying to get it all integrated. But like I said, I'm going to be at Eric's Altman's Storm Trackers, the new one this year. He's doing Kecksburg. I'm going to be at again. I love Kecksburg. I have so much fun at that one. The gristmill one. It's not on my thing yet, but I'm going to be at that. I've got
Beaver
a couple.
Creek.
Yeah, that's it. Beaver Creek. I've got a couple book ones. Yeah,
That's
next month. Pretty quick. I've got a bunch of book fest and author events, but there's a new one I saw called Cryptids and Curiosities on October 3rd. So I'm going to be at that one.
Where's that one at?
Oh man, I don't know. And I got to click a link now. Oh, that's in Medina. It's at a Black Cat Bookstore.
Yes.
So,
Amy Boo, howdy.
oh, Amy, I know Amy.
I hope.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know Amy?
And
she's great. I love her.
then I'll also be at Albert Witch in October.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I'm going to be a bluegrass, Bigfoot and bluegrass out toward Eastern PA. I'll be speaking there. Let me grab my calendar. Yeah, because May 2nd, I'm going to be Ohio Bigfoot Conference. I'm just vending. Of course, this weekend, I'll be at the Metroplex in Girard, Ohio. And I'll be speaking about the Bigfoot there. July 11th, Middlefield, Ohio. And then the 17th through the 19th, Kecksburg. And I haven't got my application, and I called and wrote them and everything. So I haven't got my application. I
think it's on the website because I sent mine in.
Okay. And then Gretchen Fest, August 8th.
At the Lock?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know about that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when White Deer Park is September. They're Eastern PA, New Columbia, I think it's called. Then I'm going to be in Johnstown, the 26th and 27th. I'm the host of the Western PA Cryptid and Supernatural. And yes, we still got some spots open. So if you want to come, Steve.
When is that?
September 26th and 27th.
Let me look. I think I have something else non-book and stuff related. You know what, Bill? I'm going to have to get like a list off of you because I've asked other people, I'm not going to mention names, hey, what events are you going to? Let me know because I need to find more. And like nobody said, so I'll have to hit you up and get that list off of you.
Yes, I'll get it for you.
Yeah, that'd be
I'll
awesome.
definitely get it for you because I'm telling you, there's some really great ones. Amy, you got one coming up real soon. Which one's that one? I'm almost positive you got one coming up here real soon. And I can't remember because, my brain's kind of fried with everything else going on. Hello, Grizzly Chris. And Danny, my boy. Yeah, I thought you did, or did I misunderstand something? I thought you had something coming up.
Me?
Amy.
Amy. Oh,
she goes, I do. I thought you did. Maybe I'm wrong.
That's why you put it on the calendar so you don't have to remember it. It just tells you.
Oh, that's right, Amy. That's what it is. June 11th. The Mahoning Valley Scrappers are changing their name to the Mahoning Valley Grassmen. That's the Ohio Bigfoot for one day.
Oh.
Amy's going to have a table there. I'm having a table there. We are partnering with the Scrappers on this. I do have a few tickets left, and what they cost, the tickets cost me $6.25.
I see it right here.
Yeah. So, That's out.
Thursday the 11th, huh?
Yep.
Okay. I'll mark that down. That would be fun.
If you want a ticket, let me know.
Okay. That sounds cool.
Let me know. Yeah. So, I'm partnering with them. Amy partnered with them. All right, William, take care, brother. Stay safe. I love you, man. He's an inspiration. And they're looking for more people to have tables, too, Amy
for
said.
The Scrappers thing?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. I will look that up because
I
don't think
I can send you the link.
Yes. Yeah. I'll have to hit you up. We'll have to exchange some links and some
Yeah.
dates and things coming up because I've got a lot of author book events and I've got some craft shows because I used to do some soaps as a side business.
Right.
But now I have Bigfoot soaps, like shaped Bigfoots that
Do they smell like Bigfoot?
We have Bigfoot Toe Jam is one of the scents we have. It's
Oh my
black.
God. At Beaver Creek, I bought toe jam, Bigfoot toe jam. And it was a jam.
Was it good?
Yes.
Well, I know the
It was
one year,
blackberry and elderberry mixed.
the 1 year at Butler, we were next to the Star Hill Winery guys, and they were giving us samples like all day. I mean, it made for a very fun day. But that Bigfoot wine they do, the charity one, is so good. It has such a grape flavor to it. It's a table wine, so it's a little sweeter, but it has a very solid, like continental type grape flavor. It's one of my favorites ever. I don't like dry, bitter wine. Yeah.
Amy says get in touch with her
Okay.
because she's talking to Matt tomorrow.
Okay.
Uh,
I will look. Amy, I'll look you up.
Yeah,
If she,
and,
hey, there I am over on Facebook. That's weird. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
It popped up and I went, wait a minute, that looks familiar.
but yeah, get hold of her. She'll hook
Okay.
you up.
Okay.
She helped
Yeah,
hook me up with them.
I think I got contact. So cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be a great event, Steve.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're going to have fun. Yeah, we're going to have a table set up. Yeah, we're going to be promoting the Agents of the Unexplained, Amy Boo's Project Zoo book. We'll be selling some items, but I'm mainly going to show support to the scrappers and put, the cryptid world out there with the rest of it.
Well, it's Grassman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I saw was an Ohio Grassman down at Salt Fork.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. There's an old friend that I haven't seen for a while. Karen, how you doing? But yeah, we got to get more people interested, and you're working on the younger ones, which is awesome. I've been talking to a lot more people lately that are skeptics, but I tell them, I'm glad you're a skeptic. That means you're questioning everything that we're saying, and we need
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
We need that. So,
and here's the thing, Bill, you can still be skeptical, but still enjoy going to these conferences, these events, the talks, and engaging in conversation. I'm not saying attacking people and screaming, but having a conversation, because those types of conversations can be fun and last till early morning, but you can have fun, go out camping in the woods. Even if you think your friends are crazy for doing howls and wood knocks, let them be crazy. You're still camping with your friends in the woods. Take the kids along. Man, I used to camp. I think I counted in my teens and 20s, I would camp an average of 17, 18 times a year, winter and everything. I haven't done that for a while. So I miss it, but we need more kids out there doing these types of things.
Yes. I don't go out camping in the winter anymore.
Well, yeah. It's not as much fun.
My old body cannot handle it, and I admit it. Hey, good night, Carla. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I want to hear the stories of everything that happened today. But anyhow, the thing is that, I've been pushing the other people to, get out, research the whole 9 yards. But you're getting the younger ones interested. And actually, when I see you next month, I'm going to get a book from you for my grandson.
That'd be awesome.
I got to get one.
I got Bigfoot stickers, so you can put a sticker on and customize the book.
Yeah, I got them too. I have my niece Missy's out there.
Oh, okay.
Hi, sweetie. I don't know how this happened, but her daughter, my little nugget, is worse than 3 toddler boys.
Girls, I was a Girl Scout leader, Bill. I know.
She's just one. She's just one. She don't stop. And she got me. I stopped there yesterday for a little bit, and it was near her bedtime. I said, well, I got to go. And Missy looked at her and says, after he leaves, you're going to bed. She grabs my legs and goes, Uncle Bill, please don't leave me here. Oh, I got to, honey. I got to. Because there's no way in hell I'm going to keep up with you at my house.
Oh, yeah, man. When I was a Girl Scout and a Boy Scout leader, the Cub Scouts, man, they will. I couldn't do it now. 20 years ago, it was okay. But now, no, I'd be a little much.
Her mom was always too laid back. Yeah, she is so cute, but so bad, Missy. She is. She's a doll baby.
See, now here we go. I have never seen her be bad, and I've never seen the proof of this. So I don't know if I believe you, Bill. That just.
I will videotape it. I will videotape it. And I will have the proof.
And I bet the videotape's going to be blurry and shaky.
Yeah, trying to keep up with her.
Exactly.
Oh, shoot. But anyhow, it is about 11 after 8. I need to eat supper. I've been on the go all day. Got a lot of things accomplished. Got a lot of things I still need to get accomplished. So today was a good day. And I got to be out in the sun for a while.
It was
got
beautiful.
To talk to people about the Bigfoot and paranormal. It was great. So people know, if the weather permitting, I will be downtown Sharon at 114 West State Street in Sharon, in front of Leona. It's about time you get here. We were talking about the event, and you just show up. Wow. She's the promoter and host of the event in Middlefield. Love that lady. She's great. Yeah, I was tanning, Danny. But I'll be down there tomorrow, weather permitting. I will have stuff set up. And I'm mainly wanting to talk about the Bigfoot and paranormal. And that's why I did it. It was a spur of a moment. I go, Sarah, can I set a table up outside here? Go for it. So I was able to do it. And I loved it. I was out in the sun.
Yeah.
The sun got hot for a little bit.
It did.
I got a little tan going too now, and I love it. It didn't burn. I'm tanning. But the other thing I want to bring up too is definitely check out Steve's book. If you know any young kids, get them the book.
Yeah.
Get them interested. Let's get this going. I'm a firm believer in this. I've been a firm believer in it right from the get-go.
I've got a few other things coming that I hope will get some kids reading. Not just reading, but I've got some. I'm a computer developer, so I've got some, web stuff, some mobile phone stuff. Trying to integrate multiple things into this, all with the Oddish Quester moniker and tying it all together, and working with others. Like I said, I've got Stan in this book. I've got Ron Murphy in the picture book. I've got Dean Haglund.
That got to be a scary book.
No, it's a kid's book. It's based on when my son was younger.
Yeah, but you got Ron picture.
Yeah, but he's very friendly in the book.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
I better shut up. I'm going to get in trouble. Yeah, so you got a lot going on, and you're working toward doing the right way too, and that's what I love. Yeah, and make it fun.
Everybody's got their own little part in this whole big thing, and this is my little niche. I don't know too many others that are, doing the kids books and trying to recruit kids and working with kids. There's a little bit, but that's my focus. So
and
that's
you're
my
doing
niche.
a great job at it, and I do appreciate everything you're doing, Steve.
Yeah, I appreciate you talking to me and stuff, Bill. It's been fun.
Yeah, and that's we're having fun this hour, and it's been great. So, but anyhow, we're going to cut this off, folks. I'm glad everyone's been out there and here, Steve. Get the book. Definitely get the book. Get these kids going.
I've had good feedback. A couple of the beta copies, the early beta copies and stuff, had a few typos, but I had enough people reading that I caught those. So everything should be good. And I've had a lot of adults reading it now that have said how much fun it is. And that's
the thing is that, I got my ebook out there, which is a short version of my story. And I was working on getting the paperback done. And that's when everything fell apart with Beth and the whole 9 yards. And
kind of put your life on hold.
Yeah, I put it on hold big time. And I got to get back to finishing it. And so I can get it published. And it's all about my sighting, the experiences I was leading up to it and after it. And I hope it resonates with people, but we'll see. But anyhow, again, thank you, Steve. Thank you, audience, so much. Glad you all were out there. I will be talking to you right after we go off the air, Steve.
Yep.
Take care. Have a great night, everyone. Stay safe and no jail time.
This has been the Agents of the Unexplained Paranormal Podcast. Please like, follow, and share on all social media. And remember, the truth is out there.
Bill Rigby leads the way into the strange.